joined today with Ralph Winter, Commercial Director with Moho Resources. Ralph, thanks for your time.
Well, thanks for having me, David.
In recent times, the company has taken a clear nickel strategy. What's the strategy and how's it being driven?
Well, I guess we've always been a gold and nickel company. We've been very focused on our gold in the last sort of 12, 18 months. But the market is really now open and receptive to more nickel. And we just sort of felt, well, this is a perfect opportunity for us to capitalize on that and really create some value in the company. So we've sort of broken it up into several phases. The first phase is to focus on what assets do we currently own that we've got nickel exposure on. And the most obvious one there is Silver Swan North, which is right next to Poseidon Silver Swan nickel mine. Poseidon have their fill the mill strategy, so we believe that if we can prove up enough nickel in the area, we may be able to do a deal with Poseidon or some other party. So the first stage of that is the drilling that we've just started a couple of days ago, and that's at our prospect called Omra, which is on the granted mining lease, coincidentally the same granted mining lease where we've got the East Samson Dam resource we've just defined. And so is the Wise prospect as well. So the idea is we're going to go drill an EM target there, which we have from a bit of historical work that was done and we've put together with a few other things. And that program, or at least that part of the drilling, is co-funded by the WA government, so that obviously helps as well from our perspective. But yeah, it's a very exciting sort of idea. I mean, if we can sort of prove up enough nickel from that EM target, we're on the granted mining lease, so theoretically the path toward the production scenario should be not too far behind that. Phase two of the whole strategy is how can we consolidate potential nickel ground around where we are. So at Silver Swan, we've done a deal with Yandal Resources. They wanted some access to some gold tenements that we've got, prospects options that we have right next to our mining lease. And we thought, well, this is a perfect opportunity to do a deal where we can get the nickel rights on the ground that they've got on our western boundary. So we've just done that deal. We're looking to hopefully finalise that in the next sort of month or two, and then get on the ground there. So we basically have the nickel rights across 15 of their tenements, plus we retain the nickel rights on the 4 that we vended to them. And we get a gold royalty if it ever goes towards production as well. So we think it's a pretty good deal from our perspective. And then I guess stage 3 is we just did a deal with a group called Whistlepipe. So Whistlepipe, the principles of Whistlepipe were intrinsically involved with the targeting of the Gonaville Julimar discovery for Chalice. When they worked there originally. So they set up their own consultancy, did some targeting on similar grounds to what they did for the Julimar discovery, and then put the package together. We've then consequently done a deal with them, which is a mixture of applications and granted tenement. And that should be finalised once the AGM rolls around in January. That'll all be finalised and we can basically get on the ground and start looking at that. So hopefully if they're using similar sort of targeting methodologies, there should be some sort of analogies there between what you've seen up at Julimar and some of these potential projects.
So you're not just getting projects, you're getting access to a team?
Correct, yeah. So they'll also be doing a lot of the, I suppose, higher end targeting and looking at the information for us. So we've got them under a consultancy agreement to do that. And then obviously our geos will be doing the work on the ground. And then, we'll feed all that information back to them and they'll do the reviews and so on. So our consultancy team, as you're well aware, we've got a few very good key people that we've always used, and now they will just add to that and really strengthen the team up as well.
So across the nickel strategy, what's the plan from here? What's the path of the next 6-12 months?
Yeah, good question. I guess there's a lot of drilling, a lot of ground truthing to start with on some of them, because some of them are very green. Some of them we do have some historical work on. So like our Wise prospect has a bit of historical drilling on it, which was grading over 1% nickel at that point. We've also got a 3-kilometre strike length on our tenement to the north of ultramafics, so it's 3 kilometres of ultramafics, and that's got a little bit of nickel in geochemical sampling that was done. So we're going to have to go through the process like we do with all our projects, where you start with your geochemical sampling, your geophysics, and then prove up targets and then start drilling. But I think we've got a nice little pipeline of those projects and targets now that we can sort of work on, alongside what we're already working on as well, which is obviously our other fantastic projects.
and touching on that,
yeah,
your gold projects, they're not unloved, forgotten. They're still a key part of the portfolio.
Yeah. So I mean, I guess there's been a bit of delays with, labs and drilling and rigs and people and personnel, in the industry. And I think everybody thought when COVID hit, that would be the case. The market would drop and there would be delays because of that. It's kind of the opposite. The market boomed and we've got delays because of that. So, but yeah, essentially we're waiting on some results to be released to the market for Barracoppin. We did some diamond drilling there a few months back. So that should be coming to the market shortly, and the same with our Tyrrells and Hodges drilling that we did a couple of months ago. So that'll be some interesting information coming to the market, but that also adds to the East Hampton Dam work that we're doing. So East Hampton Dam's obviously been going through the mining studies. We're optimizing, doing the pit optimization studies at the moment, and we're also in discussion with mining partners and toll treatment partners. So obviously the toll treatment facilities have been chockers with people trying to get in there. So we're having discussions with different parties to see if there's a way we can come up with a partnership and hopefully get in there quicker and start generating some sort of cash flow for the company. With Emperor Springs, which is a very large scale project in Queensland, which we love, but we've been hindered by sort of COVID restrictions and so on, getting people in and out. Getting rigs has been particularly difficult. The Queensland government granted us $200,000 to follow up on our hydrogeochem program that we did. That was hugely successful, but we haven't been able to secure a rig just yet. And now the wet season started as well. They've had 3 to 4 inches of rain in the last week. So well, the last thing we want is to get a rig in there and get it bogged. So what we're looking to do is we've got a rig penciled in for once the wet season's complete in the new year, and then we'll go in and do some further work there as well. So yeah, so definitely not unloved. They're all loved equally as much, and yeah, we'll just get to them when we can. I mean, the beauty of our portfolio is that we've got multiple projects that we can focus on any given point in time. So if we can't do something on one particular project at that point, we can sort of focus on other ones. So yeah.
As you say, a solid foundation of projects with an exciting nickel strategy evolving.
Yeah.
Well funded, a good pipeline of projects, exciting times ahead for Moho and its shareholders. Ralph, thanks for your time.
Thank you very much.